Hi folks, welcome! This is the new video about the series. Here in Italy we are having a terrible moment about prices of electricity and gas, and warm up and heat up my house is so expensive. I want to build myself with you a little prototype. It will be a little stove, and the characteristics are two. The first one has to be very efficient and cheap to use, and the second has to be very safe to use as well. So let's move to the shop and start the build, but first, intro. everything is ready, I can place it on top of a fireproof table and let's test together if everything works. I need to connect the blower. This is a 220 volt motor blower, and I can then connect the plug to this AC adapter. The fan turns on, but now let's talk about instead of the fuel. I'm talking about oil. I collect some vegetable oil from my kitchen. I put it inside this glass container where I also install a little knob so that I can regulate the oil flow that has to drop inside a little container that is connected to the stove. So drops flows here on the bottom inside this little container, then follows the little tube and end up inside the stainless steel big container, which was the kitchen pan. And you can see from this shot that all the oil will collect on the bottom of the kitchen pan. And now to turn on the fire, the first thing you need to do is take some paper, some tissue paper, light it up and throw it inside the kitchen pan. Don't worry, it will not explode because oil to start to burn will have to reach high temperature and convert it into vapor, burning vapor. So this is what we are doing, heating up the container so that the oil gets into vapor. I can then switch oil and add some waste oil that I took from my car. I put it inside the container and we can see that after a couple of minutes the waste oil is flowing into little drops inside the burner. So this is what we want. We wait one more minute and then we can turn on the fan. This is important because we need to add more oxygen and fresh air into the stove. And now that the fresh air gets mixed in with the vapor of the oil, burn more efficient. I can add a little spacer and place a kitchen pan here on top so we can see how much time it gets. We need to have to boil some water. Fire is very efficient and we can see from this shot that the fire is coming out directly from the little holes we drill into the pipes. This is because oxygen mixed with oil vapor, and that's the very place where the fire starts. You can see here blue flames coming out from the holes. Fire is so promising, I can test how much efficient is it, just adding 1 liter of water inside the kitchen pan and starting a timer. This will heat up the water. But let me talk about something very interesting. In this case, you see me using this waste oil to cook, but there are also other industries that take waste oil and convert it chemically and transform it into diesel for your vehicle. This will be a very interesting project, so let me know if you are interested. 30,000 likes and I will show you how I made this conversion. So the timer is set. We only have to wait 7 minutes and 30 seconds to boil 1 liter of water, which tells us that this is a very efficient method. But yeah, let me tell you something else. Wow, it's so impressive how much energy we can get from this waste oil. Until last week I thought that waste oil was fireproof because it's made to stay in contact with hot parts coming from the engine of the car, and the two things doesn't match together in my head. But we need the perfect mixture to ignite the oil because we need to heat it up, produce hot vapor from the waste oil, and then add more oxygen. That's the reason why I added also a blower. When the two things combine, we get the perfect mixture that we can turn on the fire. And you can see from this shot that the fire is coming from the holes I drill into the tubes, and that's the point where the two parts meet together. Let me say two little consideration about this project. So even if we see that we aren't producing black smoke because the combustion of the fire is so great, we also have to think that waste oil has different brands, is a synthetic oil, so we don't know which chemicals are inside. We are burning something that is chemical, so we don't really know what kind of fire and smoke we are producing into our planet. And yeah, that's the reason why we say that's a no. I will not use this stove daily to cook or maybe to heat up my house, because it is very simple to convert it into a stove for heating up the house. That's bad. I don't know why in Russia and Asia they use it frequently, almost is their main stove to cook and to heat the house, but that's very bad for our planet, so that's a no. At this point I leave you here my 2 previous projects, check them out. Here I leave you the previous stove that used waste cooking oil. Was so interesting, we made so many discoveries together, so check it out and see you next week. Ciao ciao!